Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I believe this is the save state. Welcome to the stream. It's been a little while. I've been on that video making grind. Took a break, shifted up my strategy, started making videos that apparently people actually wanted to watch now, and it's going great. It's going real well. So, welcome back. For those of you not looking at what we got going, here's Sigurd. He's gonna be doing his thing. I think we should have everyone paired off at this point, which means I don't have to worry about that. That's the buttons. Okay. I shouldn't have to worry about anything. Yes, okay, so Ideen wants to talk to Bridget. That's it. On the right, as you can see, we have more fishing content going on for old school RuneScape, just because I can't just do one thing. I need to do multiple things, and RuneScape is very much at this point just set it, forget it type thing. I believe, so off stream I did all of the grinding arena and whatnot, and I think I did all of the equipment setups that I want to do. You're not passing anything down. Who are you passing down to? Oh, you're passing down to Dermot. Yeah, that'll be fine. Wait, shoot. Does Dermot have Pursuit? Do I need to give him the Pursuit ban? Do I want it? Did I want to give that to someone else? Dermot. Genealogy has charm and inherited skills, so he will not inherit Pursuit. Yes, that's what I was doing. About a month ago, I set this up, and so a month ago, me who set this up knew what he was doing. We have Madeir and the bows, Lewin with Forsetti and Elwind, and some rings and staves. Holland, he's not passing down to anything. Yeah, he's with Bridget, who... So he's passing down to Patty. Yeah. Azelle ain't going anywhere, not going anywhere. Claude will be passing down to Staff Boy, whatever his name is. Lex, as always, won't be passing anything down. He will give a return band. Do Rakusis. Yeah, this is all fine. This is all fine. Does Rakusis need more money? Yeah, she has 0 funds. Yes, have no money. No one has any money. Aaron is passing all of these things down to Fee to build a better Fee. And we'll go from there. I think we'll be fine. Yeah. We should be fine. Let's go. Let's just charge off into the sunset and see what happens. Did I want any funds to go to anyone in particular? What do I have in... I'm just going to double check real quick, because I don't remember. Pawnbroker just has a silver bow, and the armory just has a thunder tome. Okay. So everyone should have the items they need. Any funds I get are fine to go to whoever wants them. Fire Emblem WOD FE4. Go to chapter 5, just so I have this open so I know any events. Looks like Tyrfing. Place Arden on the red square if someone is in love with him for +5 skill area A. Okay, so down there on that little peninsula, send Arden. So once again, Arden gets to walk to the middle of nowhere and not actually have his, yeah, Arden gets to walk to the middle of nowhere and not actually have any ability to participate in combat, as is his wont. So, what do we got here? We have brigands, armors, and a general, and some thunder mages. Okay. Brigands are going to attack that house, and that house. Armors. Oh, Brave Axe. Okay, so a lot of axe armors. Byron has the broken Tear Fang, and he's being chased by a million axe units. Okay, I know how this works. Send the sword units up to the right, send a small squad of units who can deal with axe armors down to the left, and we're fine. Also known as send Sigurd up to the right. And Ira up to the right. Oh, and I may have changed the... Oh, well, who cares? What staves did Lewin have? Recover and sleep and the bargain band. Okay. Who am I sending to the left? I guess I can send the unmarried no-name squad over to the left. Oh, and I am out of fish again. This is just... I'm too fast. My fishing level's too high. Yeah, these foot noons aren't going to catch up, right? And I'll send them over. I'll mix it up. I'll send a mix here and there. Till2 has Thoron Thunder. Claude has Wind. Okay, Claude, you get to go to the left. Till2, you get to go to the left. Ideen, you get to go to the right and talk to your sister. Wait, didn't you have a talk combo? Yeah, you talk with Bridget. Oh wait, that's not Bridget. Doing great. Doing great, everyone. Depart Castle. You get to come here and talk to... Nope, not staff. Talk. Ever done a substitute-only run? I have done a grand total of 2 runs, including this one. So, no. My first run, I got pretty much all of the automatic pairings. I know that I had some really bad ones. I had an Azel Bridget. I got most automatic pairings, so I got like Lewin and... Yeah, I didn't have any substitutes. I had Lewin and Aaron. I had Sylvia, and I don't honestly remember... it was, you know, it doesn't really matter. Holland wasn't paired with anyone. I had Lex, Ira. Arden wasn't paired. Noish and Alec weren't paired. No, wait, no. I had Madeir Bridget. I had Azel with... I had Raxus Beowulf. I had Azel with Tail2, I want to say. And that was all over pretty mediocre. And I had Claude with... No, I had Claude with Tail2. And that was frustrating because he passed down the he passed down the Valkyrie staff, and then Arthur never is able to use it. Jamka wasn't paired. Bridget was Madeir. And I think he was... I did Azel Ideen, which sucks for all involved. Unfortunately. Such a sad turn of fate, but yes, Azel Ideen sucks for all involved. Okay, Dew's gonna go up here, probably with Madeir. Because this guy is just going to capture that, or attack that village. Aaron can come down here to defend this village. Noish can help out over here, probably with something. No, your options actually suck for dealing with armors. Oh, you... I mean, I guess there's a reason. He's not passing anything useful down, so I didn't give him anything useful to begin with. Maybe you get to help out with bandits, or with the stuff going on this side. Arden, you'll slowly work your way forward. That seems fine. Lewin would guarantee that I'm able to clean up the left, but I think Lewin should go to the right. Holland can go to the right, and Lex can come to the right as well. That should be good. Oh! How many times am I going to do that? Probably a lot. Probably a lot. I just used the return band instead of waiting. I love that. I don't actually. I really hate it. And now we are galloping forward. Have I played every FE in the series? I have played every Fire Emblem game in the series at least once. Yes. Including all routes of Three Houses and Fates. Have I played on the hardest difficulties? No, not specifically. Like, I played Lunatic on Awakening, but not Lunatic Plus. I've played Hard 2, but not Hard 3 or Hard 4 on FE12. Yeah, so I've played through every game at least once. 3C I've only done once, so I haven't played every route split. Sadly lost Beowulf, losing lack of... Yeah, I know. That was part of my original plan, and then he just killed himself on Sigurd without waiting. He killed himself on Sigurd, and I couldn't even recruit him, because the AI decided that Beowulf was going to be, the one to suffer from the shackling. And so the AI decided that the randomness was going to apply to Beowulf instead of anyone else. And so instead of attacking the low health, broken weapon wielding Alec, Beowulf decided to charge headfirst into Sigurd. I've played a Tier Ring or Bearwick. So I want to play Tier Ring. I want to play Bearwick at some point in time. Tier Ring, I just need a... I need a PlayStation emulator to work to get Tier Ring and Bearwick. I played Vestaria Saga 1, and I have 2 on my wish list. I played a handful of ROM hacks. Not pretty much any of the newer ones yet. And I have Dark Deity, but I've not played it yet. I also, like, there is a lot of holes in my strategy game repertoire that I'm looking to fill over time, and Tier Ring and Bearwick are definitely on that list that I want to fill. Yes, Julius is gonna become the new King of Grand Vale and the Lord of everything. Was my opinion Vestaria Saga. So Vestaria Saga I had an interesting experience with. When I started it, it was brutal and grueling, and it was kind of hard to get into. Because it's just so difficult. And so intense, I would say. Is that all the map... It's intense from a map design standpoint. Also, hello, Akihiko. How are you today? Vestaria Saga is very intense from a map design perspective, and while that was hard to get into at first, by the end of it, I really liked it. Though I do understand that it is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Yeah. I played it about halfway through, around chapter 8 or 9, I stopped for a while. And then I came back a couple months later being like, I really should finish this. And kind of blitzed it from there and just loved it. Do I just kill you with a... Nope, I hit the wait button because I'm a moron who can't use the menus properly. Okay, better get a crit or something good here. Thank you. Oh, and then a cost proc. Awesome. Don't worry, I'm just miss-microing against a menu. Happens to us all. You all have steel axes, right? Okay, that's the furthest tile you can reach. Is either that or that road tile. And you can't reach either of those. I love mismenuing. You know what, Lex? You are going to go to the left, just because that mismenu is going to cost me an extra turn with the units that need to move. Can't cast extra fish. Vestaria 2 is arguably better in all areas, not as brutal, you can save every 5 turns. And, Vestaria 1 you can save every 5 turns as well, at least in the Steam release. I was also playing on Orthodox difficulty, which may or may not be the best way to experience that game on a mostly blind playthrough. Okay, so you might be able to kill... the whole point is I need to open up a path for Sigurd to get through. Well, I don't need to open it up right the heck now. I'd like to have that open before going crazy. So, the good news about Jamka not countering is that if he gets attacked by multiple units, well, he's only going to be able to get hit by like 2 or 3 units. Because everyone else is just not going to be able to get into melee range. Also, what are your odds to not die? Seems pretty good. Odds to not die seem pretty good to me. Something else made it easier, you don't really know. That's fair. Yeah, Vestaria 1 had a lot going for it, and it's a lot of... It's like... Of the games I have played so far, Vestaria 1 is definitely peak map complexity. Okay, you do have Forseti equipped. I was worried for a second. And peak map complexity is definitely a mixed bag. Like, chapter 4 or 5, whichever one that was, definitely a big ask for anyone to get through. But... Also, how far can Sylvia move? I totally forgot that she existed. Oh, what is that? Could it be? Is it, first Fire Emblem game I ever played was Path of Radiance. Actually, my brother got that on hardware roughly when it came out. I don't remember where we first heard of it or why, but he got that, and I remember playing it and enjoying it. First one I ever beat was Sacred Stones, because I got that soon after, because I wanted a handheld one and my own one, and so I got that one and played that. And so I grew up on Path of Radiance and Sacred Stones. That is my Fire Emblem childhood there. Oh, I hope that this AI doesn't turn around and attack him. I think only the Axe Knights here are programmed to attack Roland, but I don't remember. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. I am literally going as fast as I can just to prevent that from happening. Just me, or does the fact that Arden Alexis portraits stare directly at the player so funny? Never. Excuse me. How? How was I supposed to stop that? Well, I guess I don't have Tearfing. That's... Well, it's fantastic. Love to see that, except I really don't. Marty's only for you in Thracia. Okay. Yeah, not super sure on those. Anyway, hello, welcome to the stream, welcome to the Ironman. This sucks. But what can you do when the AI just decides, hey, Byron's just gonna charge forward, and there's like nothing you can do about it? He just dies? I'm like, is that supposed to happen? I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be able to talk to him and get Tearfing. So I'm pretty sure what just happened is not the anticipated solution. We'll make Arden a beast in the FE4 remake one day. First of his name, the Meteor of Burnt, True Master of Shelfie, First Crusaders, Lord of the Great Pursuit Ring, Breaker of Choke Points, Daddy of Choke. Hey, hey, I am using Arden in this playthrough, okay? I paired Arden with Lachesis. He deserves it. Strengths ability passed down from parents to children. You'll find boys take up fathers' traits more dominantly, girls mothers, blah blah blah. Hey, by the way, there's an inheritance system in this game. It's a little late now to start thinking about it, but it exists. Have fun. Okay, and you can visit here. Slaves from generations. How did the world turn to such a savage place? Wait, that was probably a mistake because you don't actually need the gold. I think Raxus needs the gold far more. Well, since Byron just did the thing that he's not supposed to do. I guess it's up to me to just clear the map then. Do it legit. Do it the right way. Ira, just so cool. Didn't you bother with Arden, just kept him in the castle each map. So here's the thing. The game talked about leaving Arden behind to guard the castle in the first map, and so on my very first playthrough, that's exactly what I did. How much money do you have? Ooh. Ooh. Someone's got cash. How bad is the... Oh, Thief Sword will still kill. Awesome. Someone's got cash. And that someone is Arden. Fear the might of a promoted Arden. It took him freaking forever to get to this point. But it's worth it. Yeah, but there's no one who actually attacks the castle in the first map, so it's pointless. And you're just going to U-Fell over here because why not? I feel like wasting uses. Also, is it really a waste if it's the only way you can get a 1 round? I don't think so. Something magical about those level ups that only get better. Those level ups only get better in Gen 2. Can anyone reach Sigurd? You can with a physic. We'll just physic you. FE4 was the first FE you played. Oh, that... I bet that was interesting. FE4 is a very crazy game, but I guess... Here's the thing. I think we for lack of a better term, I think we don't give old games credit enough for... how do I want to phrase this? There's a degree to which old games are obtuse. Just, that is what it is. But there's also a degree to which people of the generation, at the very least, were able to just kind of pick up and get used to them and play them. And I think we both over and underestimate the playability of games that had really, like, fragmented information and tutorial and all that sort of stuff, because it's not the way that games are done now. And I'm wondering, like, how do I feel about that exactly? Because it's like, on one hand, yeah, there's definitely an element of, in terms of modern games, old games were very often not truly playable. But from a perspective of, yeah, growing up, you just kind of were used to this. This was just the way things were. Old games had a level of players were just kind of willing to play them enough and figure them out that kind of feels, for lack of a better term, lost. Nowadays? 32 attack! That's a lot of attack. Okay. Okay, Claude can take both of them, but just barely. And then he's gonna need to sit at home. So Claude, you're gonna wait over here. Everyone else is gonna retreat back a little bit further. I guess you can dance over here. I don't really care. Oh wait, no, I should have put you next to Claude for the Lover's Crit. Okay. My bad. And then once we do that, we lure them in, and then we can do a really big Doom turn with all of our units. Okay. That's the plan. I'm sticking to it. We'll see how horribly it goes. Probably just lurk a bit. Love FE, go have fun. Thanks, Ben. Hope you are having a great day. Didn't have the same frame of mind back in the day. Games played now seem obtuse in 5 to 10 years. Maybe. I'm gonna put a maybe on that. Because I can't predict the future. Maybe it's because I grew up in, you know, late 90s, early 2000s. But I have a very distinct fondness for, like, 90s era game design. Even for games I didn't grow up playing. And so it's not necessarily just nostalgia, it's just something else about it really sings to me. But what I think I find more is that passion sings to me, and 90s era game design definitely had passion, in ways that it feels like modern game design often doesn't. Not all the time doesn't, but often doesn't. Which is why sometimes you see in some indie games just feel fantastic because they just feel so loaded with passion. FE4 is hard to do if you don't take into account the time periods. Yeah, that's true. It's like, and so it's like, okay, is this good for the era? Is it good but aged? Is it distinctly, like, generally good as a whole? Like, how do you really rate that? And it's hard. Not impossible, but it is hard. And it does take the right mindset to be able to say, like, to quote-unquote give each game a fair shake. Why are you moving only information? Claude was in your attack range. You didn't have to slow yourself. Ugh, I hate this. I hate formation movement. It's lovely. It's never caused anyone any problems before. Okay, yeah, your attack is not really going to be sufficient to break that. Maybe if you work together with Azel, who I don't care if he dies. 27... that's... Okay, that's not enough for a kill by yourself, but... could be enough if you work together. Tail 2... You don't double, do you? And unless you adept proc. Okay. What did this guy have? Was it a Brave Axe? Yes, you have a Brave Axe, and you are very scary. Okay, so you would kill anything if you adept procced. Okay, I think I might need some help killing. Okay, what do you have? You have critical cost. So there's a chance you crit and or proc a new round of combat and kill that way. No! Mismenuing! I hate that. I'm so bad at this game. I'm so bad at this game. Mismenuing sucks so bad. I think what I need to do is have you kill one of the mages. Retreat back here. I think that's going to be my dance spot. I am being exceedingly careful with my button presses as of right now because it is it turned an already tenuous situation into a deeply problematic one potentially, and I'm not about that life. Okay, we'll see if we adept proc. You felt less processed back in the day, more like passion projects. I think that there was definitely still jank, and I definitely think, you know, I subscribe to the idea of selection bias is still bias. In that we only remember the games that were worth remembering. Because let's not kid ourselves, there are a ton of jank games from that era that are just not, for lack of a better term, not worth remembering. But... okay, wait. You don't have any combat skills whatsoever. Look, even Azel has negative speed, but even Azel could double. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Hello, Alice. Long time no see. How you doing today? Or tonight, I guess. Mainly just playing older games, how slow the gameplay and feel. After playing more modern games, you know, see if you really want. Generalizing a ton of trash games and layers, games on assault. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we no longer are in the era of movie tie-in games, for instance, if you want a reminder of the dearth of quality. So what I was meaning to do, and I hope I'm not just like one attack short, but I almost certainly will be. Yeah, no, that ain't going great. What I need to do now is basically just kill as many of these as possible and accept the fact that some may die, but that is a... Some of you are going to die, but that is a price I am willing to pay. At least you're not dead. Fair enough. Fair enough. Life can be crazy, and best we can do some days is just make it through. Oh, I shouldn't have done it in that order, because you can Kanto. I should have done it... in an order which probably allowed you to wall. Oh, but maybe you can. The risk of leaving you back here is that you'll start proccing... Tail 2 will start proccing, Oh, wait, no, they have 13 hit on her in the forest. She's fine. I was worried about nothing. I was gonna say the risk is that Tail 2 is gonna get hit and then start proccing Wrath, and so she'll just one-shot everyone that comes her way, which then creates a problem as she then dies. But her evasion is so high. I forgot how good promoted units are in this game. So I'm used to just assuming everyone's gonna get hit by everything, and the truth is that's not necessarily the case. Okay, I feel like most about Iron Manning. One sec, I'm gonna think on that. Something refresh my FE4 to the base mechanics said the castle, the fact that its hub it's always different. Life. I said life with an L. Sometimes life just be like that. Okay, no one's gonna get hit by multiple enemies. Down there. So we're good. Madeir can... try his luck, I guess. Like Eric, my home student engaged sub always felt weird being in the same area as the base and start moving. Pure, you need to equip items like bands and Night Ward, making GB hex and have the equip items but like more. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the band system on New Game Plus for... Yeah, the band system in New Game Plus for Path of Radiance was pretty interesting. Being able to adjust your growth rates on the fly. Path of Radiance was weird. It was very weird. You have the Pursuit Band, right? Yes, you have 7 speed, you have 8, but you're getting slowed down by a heck of a lot more, so... and you had money to steal, right? Yes, you did. A little bit of clunk never hurt anyone. What do I like best about Iron Manning? I feel like that's definitely... It's an interesting question, but I enjoy being put into a position where I have to sit with my mistakes, I have to sit with my decisions, especially because my go-to tendency whenever I'm playing an emulated game is basically I am far too lenient with myself when I don't put in any restrictions, and I will trivialize the game by just reloading save states. I'm not saying I like, am a proponent of doing that or anything like that. I'm just saying, knowing myself and knowing how I play, that is not a kill. I definitely tend to do that. And I like how playing in Ironman fashion prevents me from doing that and really forces me to experience the game. Can't always turn back, yeah. Shields but durability, lose durability each time you get hit. In theory, could be interesting. In practice, could end up feeling like just kind of a... do you have Pursuit yet? No, that's not Pursuit. That's not a guaranteed kill. I would love it to be a kill. I would very much love you if you killed the boss right away, but I think we're just going to pass this off to Sigurd to get another kill on that Brave Sword. For lack of a better term, it's the reason why one of the reasons why I don't like mods is they always feel like they're full of ideas, but may or may not actually be executed. And I'm not saying that it's not executed. I don't know. It's full of ideas. But like I never really got into Long War XCOM, for instance, because it was throwing too much at me all at once. And I was just like, nah, I prefer simpler. And I think that's what comes down to it, is I was never able to articulate why. Me as an individual, I definitely prefer simple, and then mining the depth out of the simplicity by clever use of that simplicity, as opposed to complex for the sake of being complex, for lack of a better term. Not saying that's what you're doing at all, but I'm saying that's kind of why I fell off of a lot of mods, is because a lot of mods felt like they were trying to be complex first and didn't really no, that's an incomplete thought. I don't really know. At the end of the day, I think I just bounce off of complexity more often than I do simpler things, because when something's complex, it's a lot harder for me to feel like I'm making the right choice. And as soon as I learn other things, it's really easy for me to, like, I don't know the right term for it, but like get disheartened about the choices I made and kind of feel like I was just doing it wrong. Yeah, I'm talking a little bit in circles, but it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, this is why I fell off of Three Houses. I'm not a huge optimizer. I'm just not. And so I played through blind. I played through all of the routes basically blind. Even my maddening No New Game Plus, I played through blind. Did horribly, but, you know, it worked out in the end. And I definitely can say that thank goodness for not killing him, for being 1 damage away, Azel. Otherwise, you would have killed yourself. And so it's like Three Houses. Once I learned how the optimization community treats that game, it's like, fantastic. This is a game that's perfect for you. I have no interest in it anymore. And I don't know why, but for some reason, that's always been something that just, like, really turns me off of games, is when the optimization is to such a degree that it feels like you're not really playing the game anymore. It's like, well, why even bother? If my blind play doesn't at least... If my ability to play a game and figure it out doesn't at least somewhat resemble what a fairly effective, if not optimal, run looks like, or what fairly optimal play looks like, or at least an approximation of it. If I'm not at least coming close, then it really turns me off. And that's kind of why I bounced off of... do I have to do damage to steal? Also, that's risking death for nothing, so I'm not going to do that. So that's why I bounced off 3 houses. Anyway, I've been talking a lot and not reading chat. I've not been doing a great job as Mr. Streamer Man. I'm going to give you the capture man also. So if you want to capture, you have to buy more. Capture rope. I use sword fairs. This is really time. Okay, so it seems like you really like durability systems, which is fine. Durability systems can be very cool. I would caution that, for lack of a better term, a lot of people bounce off of durability systems. I don't. I think durability systems can be very interesting, but a lot of people bounce off of them. One way that people have made durability systems more appealing, and I'm not sure how well this coding works for FE ROM hacking, is by making a charges system. So, for instance, instead of being like, hey, you have this item, like, and you'll see it in, like, D&D. As D&D got more modern, they did this a heck of a lot, and people loved it a lot more. Like, instead of having a wand of fireballs, and you have, like, 30-something casts of fireball, instead, like, that's how it was in, like, in 2nd edition. You'd have, you know, some big 2-digit number of casts, but then as soon as you used up all of those casts, it's like, okay, you're done now, no more wand of fireball. And what happened is that a lot of people just, instead of being like, okay, we'll ration it out, they just refused to use the wand at all. They would never use the wand, and it's like, only under absolute dire circumstances will I ever touch this wand. And then suddenly all the encounters become so much harder because, well, we gave you this tool so you would use it, but player psychology prevents you from using it. Meanwhile, what happens in, like, modern D&D is they do stuff like, hey, you have a wand of fireballs. It has some number of, like, charges on it, and it recharges, it, like, regains a charge per day. So basically, bottom line, you have at least 1 fireball per day, and then they feel like, oh, I'm wasting it if I don't use it. And so it's like, okay, it encourages people to continue to use the wand. Even if, you know, in theory, nothing is really different. Like, they'll still use up to, you know, whatever number of charges the wand would have had. And even if in theory it's actually worse for the player because they don't have the glut of all the charges, they only have, you know, a much more limited per day, it affects player psychology in a much more interesting way in that, hey, a lot of players are more willing to use the wands now that they feel like it's a resource that gets wasted if they don't use it, as opposed to being a resource that gets wasted if they do. Does that make any sense? I'm not saying this is what you have to do, I'm just saying that this is like, yeah, 3 Houses of Magic system. 3 Houses of Magic system worked exactly like that, where you have a very limited number of charges of this magic. But you then feel like, well, it's a waste if I don't use it, so I might as well. And then so instead of hoarding a warp staff, you know, for the majority of the game, players were like, oh, hey, I have this warp staff. I have this warp spell. I can only use it once on this map, but I can then find a really cool use to use warp, and it gets them thinking of using warp constantly, as opposed to, hey, you have the staff that has 5 uses, and you can repair it with Hamurn, so you can have, like, 17 uses or whatever. if you use all of your Hermit on your warp. But a lot of players don't think about that, and they're just like, I'm going to save my warp for a rainy day, and a lot of players end up not using it. And it's like, okay, you have 1 warp per chapter, and then you get it halfway through the game, and so technically you have less warps available for you through the entire game, but because you only have 1 available, but it refreshes, people are more willing to use it. Again, I don't know if any of that makes a lick of sense, but that is something that I've noticed just in general, and especially that I do myself. Okay, let me catch up on chat real quick. Capture me about story. Yeah, that's fine. You have examples of 3 houses on street exactly what I mean. Tough games you think fits your complexity level criteria. Yeah, let me think about that. For class of weapon variability approach with add FE4 repairing GBA. Or fan whips going broke rather than disappearing. That's fair. You might be interested. Vestaria Saga 1 had a unit that. Oh, so they had 2 things. One, they had a consumable item that would fully repair any weapon that you used it on. And so that right away you were incentivized to what am I doing? I guess I want to use these units more because they're going to pass down their stats. Not that it really matters. Okay, what do I mean with 3 houses being complexity? So depth versus complexity is a difficult topic, but for instance, if something can be simple and deep, something can be complex and shallow, something can be simple and shallow, something can be simple and something can be complex and deep. It's not a binary. It's a scale. It's a multi-axle scale. Three houses. I guess it's less like it's a cause of complexity more so than a. It's a symptom of complexity more so than saying, hey, the complexity is the problem. It's saying complexity enables this problem, and the problem is I'm not a fan of over-optimization. And 3 houses definitely enables a ton of optimization that... I guess the best way to put it is what I said a little bit ago, where my playthrough doesn't feel like it's approaching... My playthrough doesn't feel like it looks anything like an optimized playthrough. And you can say that's not a problem or that is a problem, however you want. But when I look at people who like, okay, let's use stride and warp and all of this stuff, or let's just build the most complex enemy phase Battalion Wrath, Battalion Vantage build. It has so many hooks to latch onto, to make different builds, to make unique stuff, that my eyes, for lack of a better term, my eyes glaze over, my brain just stops processing. And I think at the end of the day, 3 houses doesn't play like Fire Emblem. Or rather, doesn't play like how I'm used to Fire Emblem playing. Do you really not want to engage? I mean, true, I wouldn't want to engage Lewin either, but do you really, like... this is Commander Formation Move AI. Gotta love it. Sometimes you can lure him out, but I guess these guys really don't want to be lured out today. Elitism? Not necessarily elitism, even. Because it's not a source of the community. Like, there are elements of the optimization community is where most of the modern elitism in the community is found. is in the efficiency and optimization community, but I don't think that's necessarily what I'm getting at. I'm sorry, it's really, it's a complex issue to break down. Oh. Why do all of you have brave bows? Why did I not notice that until now? I mean, the good news is they only have 26 attack, but I didn't notice that they all had brave bows. Play Engage the first time, having a blast. Yeah, Engage is definitely a game that I have a lot more fun playing Engage than I do talking about Engage, and Engage, in my mind, gameplay-wise, really hits a level of that. It's complex but shallow, but in a fun way. And again, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but it's like, only one extra round of combat? Fine. Do what you will. Like, you have a lot of options, but ultimately all of those options... I'll put it this way. In Fire Emblem Engage, you have a lot of crazy options at your disposal, but all those options still, to me, feel like you're playing Fire Emblem. Whereas something like Three Houses, I can't put my finger on exactly why, which is why I'm trying to figure that out. But it doesn't feel like I'm playing Fire Emblem when I'm playing Three Houses. It feels like I'm just playing something else. And I know that's not very descriptive, not very helpful, and not good critique. Skill ceiling, skill floor, optimization ceiling. Not even necessarily. Because games that have crazy high optimization, like floors and ceilings, but still feel like themselves. Like, can still be fun to play. Yeah, it's... If it's not sinking in for you with my phrase of the way that I'm playing looks close to the way that someone who's optimal is playing. For lack of better words, I feel very dumb when I watch other people play Three Houses because it feels like I didn't fundamentally understand what was going on with the game at a systems-based level. And that could just be me. I could have just not understood what it was trying to tell me. But in a game where there are so many moving parts, it felt very difficult to really understand what it was trying to tell me and how it was trying to explain to me how to play that game. And so stuff with like all the battalion stuff and all the crazy builds you could do, and the fact that every unit turned so different. No, it's not even that. Because I'm fine with that normally. Yeah, it's a really confusing thing for me, I guess. It's like how flyers was broken by comparison. Interesting take. Optimal place item like. Not sure how much delay there is. One sec, let me catch up on chat. Simple and deep. Okay, I'll put it this way. Three Houses had a lot of complexity and things that didn't end up mattering at all. And the things that did end up really mattering to the game felt like they were buried, or not given sufficient explanation. For instance, the whole class system was given a ton of explanation, a ton of time. You know, there was a lot going for it of like, hey, here's how all the class progression system works. And I loved the class progression system, and I latched onto it, and I understood it, and it made a lot of sense. Unfortunately, the optimal path is very simple and leaves out like 70 to 80% of classes outside of very niche builds for particular characters. Meanwhile, stuff like the skills that felt like they should have been, hey, they're risk-reward skills, just felt like, hey, no, this is the right way to play this game. Just focus on risk-reward skills. Just focus on absolutely broken stuff. Vengeance. And so it's like, I loved variety, and I loved finding ways to make niche things useful because they felt cool. I love Deadeye builds. I love accuracy stacking for Deadeye. I loved grappler builds. I liked a lot of the magic system of Three Houses. I liked the way that was handled as a whole. I was interested in the battalion system, though I didn't really fully get it. I saw where they were going with it. I did not really appreciate the... Not appreciate... It's hard to find the right words. Some of the combat arts, and particularly some of the combat arts that are buried deep in certain units' lists, I didn't fully appreciate just how overpowered they would be. And maybe this is just a me thing, because I don't like threshold skills. I don't like using threshold skills. I don't like playing deep into the risk-reward side of things. And I think at the end of the day, that's what I don't like about Three Houses, is that Three Houses, the most powerful builds by far in the entire game, rely on using threshold skills. Defiant, Wrath, Vantage, but more specifically Battalion Wrath, Battalion Vantage. They're things that require a lot of setup. And so it's like, okay, that was the biggest thing for me, is the battalion skills. I do not like. I don't like using them, and they require a level of optimization of the game that, for me, is not fun. I think at the end of the day, that's what I didn't like more than anything else. It's like, okay, the management of student enthusiasm in order to optimally train your students, sure. The fact that a lot of the classes were just kind of felt like filler and weren't really that great, sure. I didn't appreciate either of those. But I really don't like using things that are risk-reward and optimizing out the risk. So for instance, the whole setting up of battalions in order to use a battalion skill, and the fact that that is what makes units like Dimitri grossly overpowered, I fundamentally did not enjoy that aspect of the game at all, and so I refused to use it. And that felt like it really made my experience of Three Houses subpar compared to people who were willing to engage with that and like to engage with that, and were able to create insanely broken builds using that. Does that make sense, DM? How about, like, did that explanation make sense? Ultimately, it comes down to it's a me thing, but that's where it's at. Let me catch up. Just like I thought, comparison takes are complicated. Clear what the tools are disposal from the get-go. Yes, I like it to be clear from the get-go. I appreciate when there's some depth to be had about the tools, about like clever use of them or proper use of them. And it's fine when there are things to figure out, but I don't like it when the most optimal things feel hidden away, or feel like you have to use them in ways that they weren't intended. It might be a different discussion, to be perfectly honest, because I can only speak to my own perspective and my own bias, but I feel like the battalion skills were poorly thought out, because it felt like, hey, here's a different way to use an HP threshold, but in reality what it was, hey, we've opened up a hole in the system for players to exploit. And I'm not a fan of stuff that feels like I'm I'm not a fan of stuff that feels like I'm exploiting the game when I use it. Though I know a lot of people are, and so I don't disagree with Three Houses for existing in its form. I instead say I am not a fan of it myself. Does that make sense and maybe clarify my position better? Awakening style sequel to the Alib games. Already managed to put a demo out. Ooh, that's cool. You try as much as possible not to use dancers or warp staves because you find them boring to use even if optimally. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Similar thing, I'm sure. A lot of people have... Everyone has things they like or dislike. I also happen to like it when Fire Emblem type games plumb the depths of their map design in order to provide interesting things or engagement with the game. I personally prefer my complexity to be on the board and not on my units. And Three Houses felt like all the complexity was on your units, and very little, if any, complexity was on the maps itself. They had a couple maps that had really interesting or complex objective sets. And there were a lot of like, hey, snipe out this key unit, prevent them from using your siege weapons, stuff like that. That I thought was interesting. And so there was a lot, there were elements going for it as a whole, but I felt like the way that a lot of that was handled didn't seem to matter. And I think I never really realized that that's what I like until I played Vestaria Saga and finished it and realized, man, that game plumbed the depths of what a map could do very, very well. Almost too well, to be honest. Actually, no, Jamka, you need to... You're not Jamka. Why did I call you Jamka? Granville's army just swept and seized Lubeck Castle. Fear for Lisa's future. Yeah, I hope that makes a little bit of sense at the very least. Because, like, yeah, with Vestaria Saga 1, it is crazy, but almost too much is going on some of those maps. Like, Chapter 5, the city that's totally not Vienna, basically Vienna has way too much going on, especially for how early in the game that map is. But looking back, I can appreciate it more having played through the whole game, that I understand, hey, this game knew what it was going to be about and wasn't afraid to be about it from minute one. Even though when you're playing it in minute one, it's incredibly overwhelming and way too much for most players. Does that make sense? Also, enemy phases have gotten very short, so I don't have enough time to do all the things I want and read chat as much as I need to. Anyway, thank you also for just coming in and joining chat. One of the reasons I stopped streaming was because people stopped coming and stopped chatting, and it's kind of no fun to sit here and play a game by myself when I don't have the option to even just like listen to a podcast or something. Arden, go. Once I have tried battalion pinpoints things pretty well. Yeah. And it's probing you. That's fine. That's fine. If you know, probe away. I'm an open book. I'm the streamer guy right now. I'm streaming. I'm the person whose job it is to answer your questions. And I don't mind answering them. Interesting concept. Jagan is a nomad trooper, has a silver bow. 2 range of the bow. By you say better as a Jagan, do you mean the fact that when you targeted kill something, you're not going to accidentally kill more somethings? Is that what you're getting at with, like, working better as a Jagan? Because then you can, like, hey, use the silver bow to kill one enemy, but then you don't have to worry about killing a lot of other enemies on enemy phase. Because they're not gonna do that. And then it's like, okay, you can have the interesting debate of, hey, do I weaken a lot of enemies, potentially? Or do I kill one enemy and then kind of leave the rest, you know, see what happens? I think that is an interesting concept for a Jagan, and you know, I might actually check out your demo, and I guess if I do, I'll let you know. I'm probably not gonna, like, you know, stream it or whatnot, but if I do, I'll let you know. As of right now, I'm not necessarily looking for a ton of other games to play. I have a huge backlog. But depending on how long it is, I might, if it's just like a couple chapters, I might poke my head in and see. And again, you know, I'm just one person. You shouldn't rely on only my feedbacks. Exactly what I mean. Barovik Saga's hardcore map design experience. Mechanics might overload. For instance, you can equip horses that have HP and can die without your unit dying. How are the big maps? Also, howdy. Hey, Bill McAwesome. Big maps are big. Next question. No, just kidding. Big maps are big. They're fun. What tile was it that I was supposed to stand on? It's, of course, the peninsula. Arden has to stand on the peninsula for anything interesting to happen. There's not like a bolting mage, something that's gonna kill him, is there? It does not appear to be so. Actually, you can visit here, and then you can walk down next. Ares, something like that. It's gotta be just 3 or 4 years old. Yeah, surely that's not gonna create any complexes. Yeah. I enjoy the large maps, but then again, I also don't mind it. I know that there are a lot of people that fundamentally dislike FE4 because they don't like large maps. And to their credit, there are a lot of elements in FE4 where it's like, yes, you have large maps, but you don't always use the size well. I think that's my... I have a bigger issue with FE4 for not using the size of their maps well than for having big maps to begin with. I think you can have big maps and still be fine, but if you're not using the size properly, you know, insert euphemism, it's not about the size, it's about how you use it. And a lot of FE4 maps use the size of their maps pretty poorly. Like, FE4 has Chapter 4 and Chapter 2. Chapter 2 has some parts of it that are more interesting than others. But I think that Chapter 4, they use the size of the map to facilitate a ton of walking around while not a lot is going on. And they pad that out by using effectively what's effectively an in-engine cutscene to pad that time out, and I'm just not really a fan of how they did that. When should you care about story when playing a game? I usually care about the story a lot on my first playthrough of a game. On subsequent playthroughs, I care less, but I do care quite a bit about story on my first playthrough. I am willing, though, to overlook... I'm willing to overlook... Like... I'm trying to think how to put this. the story doesn't have to be perfect, but the story has to make sense and be consistent. I guess be consistent, yes. I'm willing to write out a story that's a little bit nonsense if it kind of goes in with the perspective of it's going to be nonsense, just turn your brain off and have a good time. So long as it's consistent with that. For instance, I think Fire Emblem Engage, the story of Engage as a whole wasn't bad, but ultimately it was consistent up until like chapter 22, 23, etc. It was consistent up until all the Gradlon 3 keys stuff. By which point in time, it stopped making sense and really felt like they were just padding for padding's sake. And I did not like the way that that felt or was handled. Conversely, and so it's like there are a lot of elements then where it's like I'm able to suspend my disbelief about something to have a good time. Oh, I love Big Shield. I love Great Shield so much. Don't you just love Great Shield so much? What's that big? Would be really awesome. Fire Emblem, arm front lines of the flank, etc. In theory, that Bill, I like that thought. I don't think Fire Emblem fundamentally works that way, unfortunately. Because when you have a big map, the larger the map, the more important movement disparity is. And so while in theory having a larger... I think what you're meaning is larger scale, not necessarily larger size. Because in terms of scale, you could have a larger scale map that was relatively compact and thus, you know, encouraged people to... You can have a larger scale map that was relatively compact and thus encouraged people to play, you know, more armors holding choke points, more archers firing from ledges or on ballistas. Thracia does scale very well with their maps, and the Tellius games, for the most part, do scale pretty well. I would say Radiant Dawn does it better than Path of Radiance in some aspects. Neither one are perfect, though. But I also will say... One sec. Who am I physicking? I think it's gonna be... Midir. Yeah, Midir's pretty hurt. Story isn't everything. Yeah, okay. Skills. Very little skills and no proc skills. Yeah, that's good. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a fan of proc skills. Just randomness is... randomness that you can't count on, that you can't see. Fire Emblem already has enough randomness going on with its hit chances and crit chances. I'm not a fan of randomized damage to that degree. Randomized proc skills, especially when they start randomizing skills that drastically affect the way combat works. Like the way that Radiant Dawn handled Vantage by making it a proc skill was horrible. Not a fan. You have 25 defense. What's your attack? 31? Oh, you're fine. Lex, you're gonna be fine. Right up and take that gold right there. Okay, Arden secret events. Who knew? Got myself a wife and kids. Certainly can't go dying now, not without leaving anything behind for them. What's this tidy little book doing here? Nothing thing of complete gibberish. I think look and feeling sounded so much clearer now. This is how secret books work. You look at them, they're total gibberish, and then they just cause you to have a psychedelic trip where afterwards everything is clearer. Yeah, one sec. Let me finish moving my units, and then I will comment more. Because I've lost track of my thoughts a little bit. I need to kind of recenter, refocus, and figure them back out. Oh, that's interesting. So you can fly through the no-fly zone, you just can't land in it. So I shouldn't put that. Okay, how terrible does this fight go? Yeah, that's pretty bad. That is pretty bad indeed. I think Ira might have a bad day. Okay, you can save any turn and start at 2. Okay, that is a huge difference. Matters not how many of you worms confront me, as long as I wield the Great Axe Hellswath. Same fate awaits every last one of you. Hellswath gives like insane defense, right? Isn't that why his defense is so huge? At least there's a minimum damage of 1. Unless you're getting a crit, or I guess using magic, you're gonna have a bad day. Sometimes use it a different way, yeah. Music, FE is your favorite music. Read scale, like to see what difference moving to running is for a while. Rise to the challenge. What is the secret of the secret book? Which one's Rise to the Challenge again? Man, that is really hard for me to pick favorite music tracks because I'm a musical person at heart and I love so much of Fire Emblem music, so it's really hard for me to pick. Like, I can probably pick a favorite song from almost any Fire Emblem game. If I had to pick as a whole which one I prefer the music of, I'm a sucker for the quality they got out of Radiant Dawn. The variety and quality of Radiant Dawn's music is great. Engage has some fantastic music. My one issue with Engage's music is the way that they utilized the Four Hounds music, and that is not good music to think to, and it's just gonna be playing and buzzing through your ears for the entirety of like every map that they're a boss on, which is like half the maps of that game. Actually, the challenge, second boss theme in FE4. First playing. I'm trying to remember how that one goes. One sec. So I still have the music saved. I can probably... where's the mute for this? Okay, maybe not. One sec, I was gonna look this up. FE4, it's FE4 Premium, but this will give me the... Oh, you said it's called Rise to the Challenge? Oh yeah, no, great stuff. Agree, great track, good choice. Boss music, Usually great stuff. Oh yeah, no, gameplay story integration. Like, FE4 holy weapons are what every legendary weapon wishes it could be. Hellswath, an axe of 20 defense, 10 resistance. I think the only sad thing is that you're never able to play with it, but I think even if you were able to play with it, it wouldn't actually feel as good because the enemy would just ignore you while you have it equipped. Like, dang, man. That is something special. So yeah, really hard for me to pick just one track to be like, or just one game to be like, this Fire Emblem has the best music, because there's so much good stuff there. So much good stuff in the series. Okay, so Era is gonna be retired from fighting the boss. Lewin. I like those odds. I like those odds a lot. Favorite FE4 map theme, considering you have to hear them for hours. Can you say happy birthday, Nick Gurr? Yeah, I can say happy birthday, Nick. Hope you're having a great one. Actually, makes a lot of FE6 and FE7 music to the FE8 sound font. Oh yeah, FE8. FE8 just really felt in sound and visuals like the truly master, like the it was definitely the truly, like, it was the finished product of everything the GBA FEs could be in terms of, at the very least, you know, look and sound. Beneath a New Light from FE6. Favorite FE4 map theme. Well, I have to wait until next turn because Lewin's sitting on the point. I'm trying to remember what my favorite map theme would be. So map theme as a whole from FE4 probably would be either Chapter 6 or Chapter 10. Actually, do I believe that? Chapter 3 is really good too. Ah, that is a hard pick. I will not leave you, sire. Just hear me out. Take self and find a refuge. I'll protect him no matter what happens. I like the way that FE4 uses music to set the mood. It is exceedingly good at that, for the most part. Like, for its conversation themes and whatnot, I like the mood, the way that they use music for mood. Arguably more than I like the map things, because while the map things are fun, and they do set the mood themselves a little bit, they do get old, because you're listening to them for so long. Sorrow of Common Man reaction. And so it's like, okay, if I were to go through every Fire Emblem game, FE1, it's it's Famicom chiptune font, so it's harder. But before every chapter, like the for lack of a better term, like the panic or approaching danger theme, that the Warriors remix version of that made me love that track. FE2 Gaiden, and FE2 specifically, I love the overworld theme for FE2 specifically, I love the overworld theme for Chapter 4, Land of Sorrow. It's one of those ones where it's like, okay, they made it a haunting choir in SOV, and that's one of the few tracks that I prefer the Gaiden version. For lack of a better reason, because the Gaiden version is feels a lot more driven. Dun, 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 do 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 do. Yeah, that one. Also, speaking of music, hard to really tell when they do a music. Harder to tell what I'm saying. Get Space North to be able to rendezvous with them sooner or later. Sorry I dragged you into this. Also, I'm sorry that I dragged you into the desert on horseback. This was a terrible decision. 0 out of 10. Uh, 0 out of 10. One star review on Yelp. Ye Desert, really not a fan. Yeah, no worries. Land of Sorrow, I want to say. Actually, let me play it. Let me see if I can... Yeah, where's the mute for this? Settings. Oh, I have to press OK. So Gaiden. Is it this one? World Map Chapter 4, Land of Sorrow. Oh, that is super loud. Sorry for your ears. Sorry about that. And so you have, you know, the dramatic, the little lead up, all that. And then it turns here. And I'll play the Echoes version after. So that's the Gaiden version, and as you can tell, there's like, despite being, you know, the chiptune Famicom quality, there's so much emotion given by that. And meanwhile, here's the Echoes version. a lot more haunting, dramatic to start with, obviously. Yeah, it's this part where it's like, I love the marching theme that you feel with 2, because it's that extra drivenness and impact of it. That's like, sure, you have the drums underneath this one. You have the drums underneath this one, but because it's still that, like, haunting choir, it loses a bit of that. Yeah, it's good in its own way, but it's not quite the same. Yeah. So that's my pick for Gaiden music. Oh, I should probably, speaking of music, should probably unmute this because there's some fun music playing here, probably. Don't you dare forget your allies. Yes, I'm not forgetting you. I'm deliberately sweeping you under the rug and sending you out to die. Yeah, the original in Gaiden feels like, okay, we've been through a lot of garbage, but we are marching into Rigel. We can't turn back now. Whereas the Echoes one is like, more of like, oh, it's a mystery. What the heck is happening? What's going on with Duma? What's going on with Mila? It's that ethereal, otherworldly quality to it that has a little bit of the drumbeat of Alm's side, but it feels like it's more spoken from Celica's side. Whereas the initial feels like you get both sides. You get the haunting, you know, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, which feels like more at Celica's side, and the dun-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, which feels like more Alm's side. If that makes sense, it feels like there's 2 different emotions within the same song, which works so well for Gaiden. And it doesn't quite have that same feeling in Echoes, which is tragic because Echoes is lovely. I guess you love Sarah's theme. So, the other day, a very interesting skill. Fail and Gale. Move again after attacking and failing to harm the enemy. Interesting. So, a Gale force that only procs if you miss. Viltomar phase, okay. Oh shoot, I was in meteor range. This is fine. This is fine. It's only 15% hit chance. At least you didn't decide to one-shot do. Which I think you probably could have done, had you wanted to. My bad. Well, it's okay. Do had 1 resistance. He could have one-shot do if he wanted to. But apparently he didn't, so we're fine. Okay, so we just sweep over here. Procs if enemy's HP is equal to or larger than before the battle started. Oh, interesting. That is an interesting way to code it. So in theory, if you're using it against an enemy who, for instance, has Nosferatu and heals back up further than what damage you dealt, it's like, hey, you get to farm them for another chance to move. But also you don't necessarily want to do that because then that's also like, hey, you're probably taking a lot of damage in return. I remember the Nosferatu druids in FE6 Sakai route Oh boy, does Milady remember fighting those? Oh, that was pain. That was a lot of pain in my last draft. Keep going if you don't mind. FE3 next. Let's hear more opinions on FE2 music. No, that's really the biggest standout on FE2. FE3, I got distracted by actually playing the game. Okay, I think you're probably close enough that I can not hold back the dance. Also, you're probably too far to get hit by that, right? Yeah. Okay, and then that's your max range. Okay, we're fine. Yeah, so there are multiple solutions to like this part of the map. One of them is just send Sigurd ahead with Tyrfing, and everyone ignores him because he has infinite resistance and doesn't take damage. 89 fishing. Let's go. 2 more levels until I hit the point I need to complete Mauritania Elite. Yeah, let me play for a bit, and then while Thracia's doing its Thracia thing, I'm gonna pick out different tracks. I don't necessarily have super strong opinions on FE3 music. I'm trying to remember it to see, like, to remember if I do have any strong thoughts, and I'm like, not particularly. Not because I don't think the music is good, but just I don't really have any. I don't really have any strong thoughts on it. Wacky skills, you'd be a hacking community full of... I mean, geniuses is a loaded term, but I will definitely say they are... The GBA hacking community knows its stuff and knows how to implement a lot of stuff. Whether or not the stuff is actually good good design, well designed is, depends on the hack. Depends on the game, but I do think that they definitely know the tools and know the limitations of the engine. +5 aid without changing their con. Okay. Interesting. Basically, with the way the calculations work, that's kind of like taking a... Like the difference between a female mounted unit and a male mounted unit. Oh, I forgot. These horses just literally walk back and forth. Good job, Leonster. Good job. Coding. Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, come on, you can't not just like clap along to this. FE4's got some bops with the beats. And so I think that both the what's the first zone you fight in? Brain is blanking on them. The place is Jamka's from Verdane. Yeah, I can't think of anything from FE3 right now that really stands out. Like, Dark Emperor is always a bop. Holy War, I think, is... If I remember right, Holy War is... What's For Whose Sake? Is that what I think it is? Hold tight, I'll protect you no matter what. Yeah, that ain't gonna last. Rip. Digitize death screams. Clapping as the army gets clapped. Oh, yeah. Yes, I definitely am. Let's turn to the guy Bulg. His daughter will meet an untimely end. Your move, Quan. Your move. Yeah, FE4 definitely is either the Verdane army theme or the Thracia army theme, just because it's just a bop. It's fun to listen to. There's other music that maybe sets the mood better, but it's just that grooving theme. And yes, it's a short loop, but I actually like the fact that every army... I like... This is what I'm gonna put. I love the fact that every army has its own separate phase theme, and that theme remains with that army even through different chapters. It does become a little much, particularly in part 2 when you are fighting the same army constantly over and over again with like no stop. But so it can become a bit much, but I do like the fact that they have different... I like the fact that they do go to that effort to have different skills for every army. Skills? Songs. I'm reading chat, reading the word skills, and mixing up my brain. Yeah, let me mute the... Oh, not synchronize the sound. Mute sound, that's what I want. Let me just try to listen to some of these. Oh wait, no. I have it. I have my choice for FE3. It's Liberation. Reading through it, just reading through the list, it's like, oh wait, no. I have to. And the reason I love Liberation is probably because I got the... Gosh dang it, what was that album called again? The symphonic metal album of it. Flower of something. Flower of Enchantment, yes. And Liberation is the first song on the Flower of Enchantment album. And they have a really awesome, couple bars of Road Taken just in the middle of it that works so well. And it made me love the song so much. And I just love it in general, but look, they knew what they had, and they did it great. Let's bring back the music here while I debate on Thracia music. Although the debate is not going to be long, it's just going to be long enough for me to find the track, so maybe I will just mute it for a little bit. Which version of Leafs... It's basic, but I'm a sucker for the classics. Leafs Army in Search of Victory, bass. It's one of the times when a game is just like, yeah, no, we got it right the first time, and it's just gonna be what it is. We got this right the first time, and we knew it. You don't need any of the other fancy iterations on it. I mean, you do for texture, technically, but, they had it right the first time, and it just works so well. I didn't kill chat, did I? No, I think everything's going fine. Things are still loading. Lex, can you travel faster if I just send you the direct route? I guess we'll find out. Is the direct route faster than the northern route? I don't actually know. Oh wait, I forgot to move Noish. Whoops. Well, he was unlikely to catch up anyway. It just captures that, like, bright-eyed optimism mixed with the dramatics, mixed with, like, the fact that this is... that Thracia nails scale so well. It just feels right. You know, you have a song that just fits and it just feels right. That's how I feel about this. Anyway. FE6. I want the binding like game rip, I think. Dark Shamans? Yes. The Dark Shamans theme of FE6 is definitely my favorite, and it's the theme of the dragons and the mystery of the dragons, but more specifically it is the theme of Idun and Idun's boss fight. And so I love how they give you little bits of it here and there, but you never get the full thing until the very end of the game. And it's one of the few times that I'm gonna pick a boss fight theme because, you know, there's such a little part of the game, but it's so good. Oh, speaking of which, speaking of themes, let's listen to the theme of Quan dying. Here's the Thracia chat. Like the Thracia Castle talk theme. Let none escape. Because holy blood and all that, and even if you have a plus lance holy blood, you still can't wield any lance. It's just the specific lance, apparently. Which is probably why they didn't ever let you have both lances. Because they couldn't figure out a way to code that specifically. And so they're just like, okay, we'll cut the difference and not have it be a thing. Which is why Aryan joins you with the Gungnir, but only as an ally, not as a playable unit, because if he's a playable unit, in theory, you could sell the Gungnir and then rebuy it on Altena, and then she could use both, but that's not... In practice, that's not supposed to be able to happen, and so they hard cap it to prevent it from happening. You have Meteor and a Miracle Sword, so your 2 range has a gap in it. What do you have? Oh, sleep staves. Awesome. I don't like you having sleep staves. Let's make it so you don't have sleep staves anymore. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's attack with the Brave Lance first. To kill you with the L-Fire, so I'm not at risk. No, it's not just you. It's not just you. It's fairly strongly implied in general. as a very coarse but effective reading of the text. Like, it is pretty directly, that is, at the very least, one way of looking at it. Terrible as that is. And y'all can't blame Kaga on that one, because even though he was behind a number of the ideas, wait, I guess you could on that one. But even then, it's like, yeah. Favorite fire... Oh yeah, Flower of Enchantment. So it was a, like, 2016, 2017, I want to say, somewhere around there. Before the game had the premium arranged soundtracks, Flower of Enchantment was one of the ones that came out. It was a limited run CD album. They did a couple of these. And Flower of Enchantment was a full album, professionally done. Technically in-house, I guess you'd call it, though they had... like, in-house, but they, like, hired professional musicians and whatnot, different studio and whatnot, to create it. And fantastic album, cannot... like, you can find all the music on YouTube if you look. I would play it myself, but I also don't want to risk getting, like, copyright struck or anything. Oh, I have talk conversations now. Okay, I should probably pay attention to those. I don't think anyone's in sleep range, but I could be wrong. Okay, I don't know if this is, like, for sure my favorite FE4 track. FE4 tracks, there's just so many that I like. FE7. I'm trying to remember FE7. I'm a sucker for Softly with Grace from FE7. You know, it just works so well. Oh no. Please tell me she doesn't have, like, Adept or something. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Accidentally moved barely into her max range. Favorite Fire Emblem to play? Very much depends on my mood and how much thinking I want to do. I think I can do this. She does have the Miracle Swords. That's kind of proc, isn't it? Unless I can hit down from 27. Okay, so it wouldn't proc. And I would double. Possibly Adept. Okay, chance to just kill her. I will take that chance. Because this accuracy kind of sucks in general. Yeah, that's about what I thought. Actually, yeah, if she wants to attack me, she can do it. Who had chats? Lex can talk to Azel. Do can talk to Jamka? Interesting. I know these are all just talks for story, but I don't remember if I actually did these on my first playthrough, and I don't remember what their content is. I was with you a lot lately. I'm so close to winning this thing, but you wouldn't know from how you're acting. What's going on here? Damn, it's getting weird now. It's you. Ah, yes. These are all story elements of, like, everyone feels something's up, but no one can quite put their finger on it. Favorite Fire Emblem to play, though. Like, casually? So... Oh, OBS. OBS said it's disconnected. Did stream die? Did stream go down? Disconnected and reconnected. Let me check my... Okay, volumes look fine. Stream looks fine. Okay, I think we're fine. Sorry about that pop-up noise. Don't beat yourself up about it, okay? Stream alive, awesome, good. Good, 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 okay. Five, 17 resistance. Okay, so you could be fine. But wait, no, you have an advantage over fire. You're fine. You're fine. There's no weight difference in tomes outside of just the type of tome. Yeah, so Telltale is fine. To move it. Oh, whoops, I didn't need to use Fortify, but looks like today is the day that Claude gets extra EXP. Roster soon to not be... Oh, yeah. But I love that they feed that in of like, yeah, look, everyone knows everyone can feel something's up, even if logically it should be fine as far as their information goes. Up, and here come the Thracian Draco Knights in formation. So they're moving at slightly reduced movement rate, I think. Yeah, they're moving at 6 move instead of, like, the 8 that they should have. Spoil and plot twist was my mind blown. I'm trying to remember. So I played this first in like 2014. I was not really into the Fire Emblem community or anything in general. I looked up a recruitment guide just to make sure I wouldn't miss any characters, and that recruitment guide did recommend, did talk about parrying in child units, and so frankly, the advice I gave was probably terrible, but I knew that there was a second generation and that Chapter 5 was the end of the first generation, but I did not know specifically how it was going to be implemented. And so I think I did not know specifically what was going to happen. I had an idea. Like, I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. I figured they would, like, either rotate, cast, or kill off or something, but I didn't know exactly how it was going to happen. So it was, for all intents and purposes, a big surprise to me when it landed. I'm trying to remember, put myself back in the headspace of being a kid and playing, not kid, being a freshman or sophomore in college and playing this for the first time. mostly blind, and yeah, no, I think it definitely would have come as a shock to me. I had the same feeling the characters having at the moment. Probably. Probably. I definitely noticed that when it's my first time playing through a game, it is a lot easier for me to really get invested emotionally into a game. Like, significantly so. Actually, I am gonna have you march back down over here, and you can't quite do that. Awesome. It's a lot easier for me to get emotionally invested in a game when it's my first time playing through it. I find that when it's my when I'm replaying a game, I'm a lot more rote and mechanical with it. Of like, yeah, I'm skipping story moments, I'm replaying just because I want to experience it. Or if I am watching story moments, it's because I'm replaying specifically for the story, or it's like quick enough or whatnot that I'm like, okay, it's not going to, quote, impair the playthrough. Not that it really impairs it, but like, if that makes any sense. But definitely on a first playthrough, I do try to invest myself pretty heavily into any story that exists there. Emotional Fire Emblem moment I've experienced, if anything notable. I'm trying to remember if there was any... So, I'm a little bit weird when it comes to emotions. Purely for the perspective of things don't always land on me like they land for others. And so this might sound weird. And also it was just who I was at the time. Like, this might sound like a weird moment to pick. But probably the one that hit me the most, and also because it was my first one, I think more than anything else is because I was like 10 or 11 and it was the first Fire Emblem I really played. Because I played a little bit of Path of Radiance, but I really played Sacred Stones. And it was Selena Floorspar. And specifically her interactions with Myrrh. That made me just, like... It hit me of, like... Oh no, this is a character that I want to know more about, that I want to follow, that I want to have survive. And this was in a early internet era. There wasn't, like, hard information character guides and whatnot. Like, there was FAQs and whatnot. But I didn't look anything up. I tried to talk to Selena with, like, every unit. I did horribly stupid things. I got in melee range trying to be like, hey, if I talk with Ephraim, if I talk with Dusel, if I talk with Cormac, if I defeat her with Dusel, maybe that will change things or something. Or I tried so much, and it actually upset me far more. Yeah, Selena hit me with Kamugo. But it actually upset me far more that Dusel didn't even have a unique boss conversation with her. The fact that there was nothing there, no unique boss conversations, nothing at all, that's what really got to me and really got me, I'm not necessarily as upset as I sound now, probably, but it definitely hit me of like, this could be more, this should be more. Why is there not more here? And so that's kind of where it hit me, I guess, in that if you want, like, strongest emotional reaction to a Fire Emblem moment, that's it right there? And if it's not that, then it was almost my feelings of depression at just before that, the way that Myrrh was and was acting when she just wandered off in the first place. As a kid, I understood that on an emotional level. Even though now I look back and go, that seems dumb. Why the heck would you just wander off like that? It's like, oh. As a kid, I felt that, and I felt like I understood it far more, and I was like, okay, no, this is what you're feeling, this is what you're thinking. I get it, I'm here for you, I want to, you know... And so, yeah. That's how I was, that's who I was, that's how it felt. No shame. That's what happened. I emotionally bonded with Fire Emblem Sacred Stones as a child. And that is, in no uncertain terms... Shoot! That is in no uncertain terms why I have such a strong relationship with that game. But also, I'm a freaking idiot and can't win against a menu. What are you looking at? Hello, Splice. Well, you're listening to me emotionally dump on how, as a child, I played Fire Emblem the Sacred Stones and cried. No, what you're looking at is, this is Fire Emblem 4. This is the second of 3 games from the Super Nintendo. This is me trying to win this chapter, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm dealing with real quick. Okay, good. She hit 2 coin flips, like slightly better than coin flips, and 1. If it makes you feel any better, this game has 1 RN, what you would consider true RNG. So it doesn't lie about your hit rates. So I'm dealing with this. This massive squad of flying units is flying north to attack me, and I'm trying to capture, like, hit them here. But there's a big desert they're flying over, and so I can't really move to them effectively. Anyone you know in this game? So no characters from this game made it into Smash, but stickers did. I think there's a Sigurd sticker. Yeah, no characters in this made it into Smash, so you probably wouldn't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that it would be, like, notable for someone who's not a Fire Emblem fan to recognize, and I don't think there is. Did Quan survive the Ironman? Unfortunately, Alexi, I think Quan had a, what your DM might call, scripted death. Oh, look at that dance. I love just the double crit on the Wing Slayer. It's so good. Map is enormous. Yeah, so welcome to Fire Emblem 4, Genealogy of the Holy War. Every single map is, I think, what is it, 96 by 96? Outside of the prologue, which is 64 by 64, or something like that. Is it 64 by 64 or 96 by 96? Either way, every single map is absolutely massive. This game only has 12 chapters, but people like to refer to it as if it had multiple chapters, like, effectively multiple chapters per map. Yeah, so Ira is using a sword called a Wing Slayer, which allows her to deal effective damage against flying units. And in FE4, effective damage is literally just you auto-crit. So she's just critically hitting every time and is going insane. But she's not durable enough to fight the entire fleet on her own. Did I seriously forget? I'm an idiot! I am such an idiot. Horse Slayer kills me. Yeah. Are you a horse? Is that why it kills you? Someone actually did a run of Thracia with only one enemy killed by their units the entire game, a random general. Did they capture the rest of them, or did they literally just, like, move them off? Yeah, so Fire Emblem 4, effective damage is calculated as your unit will auto-crit them. And Fire Emblem 4 crits work differently because instead of tripling the damage you deal after defense, it doubles the damage you deal before defense. So they're relatively far stronger against enemies with high with high defense. Okay, so how far can they reach? They can reach all the way up to Claude. So Tail 2 is in a safety zone, but everyone else needs to back the heck up a little bit. Okay, especially my mounted units who are going to die because Horse Slayers have effective damage against them. And Azel because he is way underleveled, and Do because he's way underleveled for this part of the map. Okay, we're gonna move up. Ira can take a couple more. She can probably stop there if she gets healed. Okay, so heal you up. Let's dance to let you move again. I do not want to use the return staff. That was a mistake last time, and it's going to be a mistake forever. Wait. I miss microing against menus all the time. I've already lost, like, skipped a couple turns entirely on accident because of that. Okay, so on plane, she'll have better evasion, though with weapon triangle they're still gonna have like 29 to 39% hit. Okay, Aaron can do this. One sec, what's he talking? Map is enormous. Know the name, so you're not sure who he is though. FE4 kills me. Has effective damage before. Can't take another fleet by herself. What kind of anime protagonist is she? Basically. I mean, here's the thing. If she has... If the RNG is with her, she can. Oh, shoot. Is Sigurd dead? Okay, he's not dead. Good. He is not dead. I tell you who can take on a fleet by himself if he really wanted to. And that's this guy, Lewin? Where'd my restore staff go? Please tell me I actually have it. Wait. Okay, no, Claude has a restore staff. We're fine. We're fine. Everything's fine here. How are you? Noish, I'm sorry I accidentally used the return band and sent you all the way back to my starting castle. Let's have you run again forward. The Day 9isms. Miss Microverse menu is one of my favorite. I know, isn't it just great? So what do we think of this? An turn unit automatically consumes a vulnerable. That is interesting. That's an interesting way to counteract. I do love just spamming effective damage. Oh, 49%. Oh, so she was getting defense bonus before. Why was that the case? Why was that the case? Why was she getting defense bonus before? Like, I swear it was 39% before, and now it's 49%. Was she on a tile that gave her 10 avoid? Before? Oh, well, she seems to be winning the coin flips just fine. I think it's an interesting way to, yeah, counteract the... Ooh, nice unnecessary Astra proc. It's an interesting way to counteract the tendency to hoard items. So it's been used... some Final Fantasy games have used that. There's a skill called Auto Potion that I think is in, like... I forget which ones it's in for sure, but I know it's in some versions of Final Fantasy IV, where basically, between turns, you will just use a potion if you're hurt. Okay, good. I can restore you. And they should be close enough that, at the very least with my dance, I should be able to kill all the wyverns this turn. Level up. Okay. Yeah, welcome to the best restore stuff Fire Emblem's ever had, where it's 1 to 10 range instead of just 1 range. It's fantastic. I love it so much. Okay, where are the other meteor mages? Exactly where I walked? Fantastic. Love it. Gotta have it. Okay, so that's a safe square if I just stay here. Yeah, so right now what I'm doing, I'm sending Aaron, my Pegasus Knight, out to kill all of these meteor mages before I have to move any units into their range. And because she has the leg ring giving her +3 movement, she can start from outside of their meteor range and go up and defeat them, because it gives her a movement range of, I think, 11. Okay, 8 plus 3. And Meteor's range is 3 to 10. So, fantastic stuff. Gotta love it. Let's try to kill some wyverns, shall we? Question. Do you prefer to pronounce it wyvern or wyvern? Okay, so that will deal 43 times 2 minus 26. 86. Okay, 60 damage. And your speed is 14. Jamka's is much higher. So, unless I miss, so 80% chance to hit, and then you have all of his different skills to, like, trigger extra rounds of combat and chance to attack again immediately after. The math is on my side here. Wyvern is the only correct way. How about Howvern? Don't take this personally, we all gotta make a living somehow. Okay, fine, don't take this personally. You're dying in 2 hits. Goodbye. Glory be to Thracia. Splice, if you're still here, this is what this is what Sumia looked like so many times over in your last stream. Sorry for bringing that up, but also not sorry because oof. Oof. How about your... Oh, your dance range is huge. You could easily get it. Okay. There's the Astra proc that actually means something. Can I just say, I love how over the top the SNES animations are for Swordmasters. They just fly. Just feels so good. Okay, and then... Yeah, why not use the Brave Bow? It needs to suck up some kills on it. Good job, Madeir. One of the first times I've ever said good job. And it's almost the end of your half of the game. Bridget can't quite move into dance range. Yeah, let's just throw Ideen in here. Anyone need healing? Ira, sure. And I am starting to feel hungry again. think I need enough shakshuka. We have a fire emblem. 1 second. The stupid heart in the way of... Okay, Fire Emblem crit sword for your D&D campaign. DMing a D&D campaign modified you draw right now. Player just saved it. Cool. The Wham chapter. Might want to keep that in mind. But yeah. Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with this, if you reach the end of this chapter, many things will happen. Okay, so I don't think Idine's gonna be able to... Oh, she might double. She might double indeed. Huh. Oh wait, does she not have... Oh wait, she doesn't have Pursuit, does she? No, she doesn't have Pursuit. Whoops. Oh well. Maybe not oh well, because now I need to find a way to deal 24 points of damage real quick. With units that are not exactly... How much attack do you have? Oh, you only have 25 attack, that's fine. That's fine. Roll an acrobatics check when we get a critical hit and add that instead of double damage. That's absurd, depending on what edition you're running in. That is an insane amount of extra damage. Potentially. You have just given... Because with D&D is a... fundamentally a small numbers game. And so like a longsword would be dealing what D8 plus modifier. You've given them the option to now deal... Granted, it's only on a crit, but it's like D8 plus... potentially... That's acrobatics. Assuming 5th edition... They add your modifier. If they have no other special modifiers onto it, like special expertise or whatnot. Is Midir dead? 50 minus 16. Oh, Midir's fine. The Quan Cav Squad just is absolute garbage. Okay. Yeah, Midir's fine. He can eat a crit and be okay because this is the way we play the game. Everyone else can move, not sure if they need to move or even should move, because at this point it's probably a waste. Like, what do I have to do? Clean up the mages, walk Sigurd all the way down, and then whoever ends up being able to get down there to assist. Yeah, real interesting gameplay right there. 5th edition? Yeah. Okay, so D6 plus maybe 20. That thing is swingy as all heck. Also, it depends on if there's a magical modifier, if there's any other hard plus on it. That is one swingy as heck sword. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna move anyone else. I'm just hitting the point in... You hit a point when you're playing Fire Emblem 4 of like, I don't need to move anyone else, so I won't move anyone else. Haha, you tried to attack the defenseless dancer. But you missed. Okay, this does have talk with Selena, but only if you put him on the bridge. Towards. Interesting. Location. That is curious. Okay, we seize the next castle. Finally claim Fenora. The fatherland is within our reach. I'll give it to the monk, not the paladin. Okay. Word of yet another skirmish in the desert's southern depths. Lance Knights of Leinster went on march north. They were savaged by Thracian Draco Knights. There were no survivors. And you are very sad about what happened. Surprise, army! Lord Reptor, we are depending on you. Sure, nothing more than sacrifices to him. Making the final adjustments to the Veltomer plan. You'll excuse me, I must return to the helm of the Veltomer barricades. You guys not a clue. This is one of my favorite moments. Is just watching this happen. When it does, I guess. I forget exactly when it happens, but when it does happen, one of my favorite moments is just watching it happen. Okay, what's your range? I know I don't technically need to kill all of these meteor mages, but I want to, so I will. Also, apologies to the traitor. I was mistaken. She never wavered, not for an instant. Not that this would be. Might help in their usage to make every space in their movement and such count. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Master Knight, I'm not quite sure what you mean by what you just said. It seems a little... It's a little vague and hard to understand for me at this point. Okay, was there anything that's like really close to a level that also is... I'm gonna pass something down. Requisis. You know what? Let's try to feed you a kill just because... I've been horribly mistreating you with not giving you nearly enough experience. Because I just kind of do that. Because I didn't, like, optimize your staff usage. And now it's just like, okay, I just kind of suck now. Ironman's a better safe than sorry. Yeah. I'm killing the meteor mages mostly because I know that if I were to accidentally move my units into their range, they could make me have a bad day. So, yeah. There would have a death quote. Not really. I don't remember enough of them to... I know it's not Uhai. The death quote that goes on forever. It's like, oh, before you kill me, while I die, if you want to get to the Dragon's Gate, go forward, take a left at the pass, do this, do that. You know, you'll see a copse of trees. Go north 3 more miles. It just... it's not that one, okay? I joke. But... yeah, no, I don't necessarily have a favorite death quote in Fire Emblem. What do we got? What do we got? Acknowledging death from the die. That is cool though. That is interesting. Yeah, none of them stand out to me really. Okay. Let's repair the Brave Sword. And might as well repair the Javelin too. Do-do-do. I love how every castle has its own musical themes, even if you so rarely actually get to hear them. Okay, so that should be safe from you, and then everyone else is just about to get completely, turncoated, as they say. Because the Velthomer plan is going exactly according to Keikaku, and translators note Keikaku does indeed mean plan. I will say, back to music, I am very much a sucker for recurring themes and leitmotifs. And so Chapter 5, when it does cut into what's effectively Sigurd's theme, like, it's not technically listed as Sigurd's theme, it's listed as like Conversation 2 or something like that. But it's basically Sigurd's theme, the this is just like, yeah, it's dramatic, it's melancholic, so much potential to be great. It does. It also has so much potential for them to mess it up royally. FE4 is... Oh wait, I have a warp staff. I could warp units forward to that castle. Now you're thinking with portals. Yeah, such great theme. Hello, Audrey 2. How are you? Yeah, definitely so much potential to be great. I'm so mixed on it, because it's like, I want it to happen, and I want it to be so good, because I want them to take the care that they need to tell the story, fix up some of the inconsistencies, and tell it right. Because if they can do that, they have a baller story potentially on their hands. Actually, why am I even bothering? It's not. They're not going to reach it. It's fine. They have so much potential on their hands. But there are also so many ways to mess it up. Either by not translating it correctly, or changing certain things, or presentation is so critical for this story. Like, I don't even think that FE4 really nails the presentation the way it could. And so it definitely has its own set of issues there. But, like, you could do a lot better, you could also do a lot worse. And then it's all about reception. And at that point, it's like, how do people like the big maps? Do you keep the insane power of holy weapons? Do you keep the trade restrictions, the individual money, the stuff like that? What do you do with the game's mechanics as they are? Because Fire Emblem 4, arguably more than any other Fire Emblem, is kind of a Swiss watch, in that once you start tweaking with its systems, it really starts to fall apart. Map song is so great, slow but determined, march towards unavoidable fate. So if you game over after the first castle grab, do you suppose Thor has an easier time taking Zak and thereby kill self in the process? Probably. Though if you game over after the first castle grab... I guess no, that is after Sigurd sends Oifi back home. So I guess in that theoretical timeline, yeah? No FE4 meta, but no X Fury looks cool. What benefits does that have? I can tell you, as this is the setup that I have, Aaron and Noish. Oh, they have a talk conversation. I have more talks. Ira can talk. Sigrid can talk to Ira. Ira can talk to Lex. Sylvia can talk to Claude. Aaron can talk to Noish. Noish. So benefits does it have? So you pass down critical and a cost. You pass down critical and a cost. Fee gets a bit more strength, I want to say. A bit more strength and defense. So Fee has critical, a cost, pursuit, and then adept when she promotes. And so Fee basically has Jamka's machine gun build at base. And then she can inherit a Brave Lance or Brave Sword very easily. And so Fee, you make a really powerful Fee, but at the cost of having a fairly mediocre Sed. And while Sed can definitely work with lower stats, he's not invincible, especially with him not having Forseti. It's like, okay, he's a decent Sage. He's still a decent pre-promoted Sage, but he doesn't have quite the overwhelming power needed to make him feel like an unstoppable threat in the same way as if you had a Lewin Aranis pairing. Wait, so Ira talks to Lex, not the other way around. Okay. And I don't think any of the talk conversations are really important. They don't give me anything, it's just extra story. So while I'd still like to get them, they're not, like, required. They're not mandatory. Machine Gun Peg Knight sounds awesome. Yeah, so it makes a very good Fee at the cost of a somewhat lackluster Sed. Physical damage tome that Sed just throws at him. Oh, that would be interesting. If like, hey, just give mages strength. Just do the whole... Was it Ephraim or Hector trying to read a book and can't read? I think it was the Ephraim hack animation. It just is so great. If we can get this one. Nearing the end here, Lex. Stubbornness never ceases to amaze. Why didn't you leave? Everybody's responsible for the children as I am. Until this war is over, we'll go back to Azak for them together. Yep. Everyone's shipping all their children off to Azak because that's just what they did. And that's what they decided to do. And, you know, for most of them it kind of worked. Oh, not pawnbroker. Not pawnbroker. Blacksmith. Repair the Brave Lance. Repair the Miracle Sword as much as I can. And that's it for Aaron's money. Aaron might have to talk to Noah just to get some money. Yeah, there's not really a point in like grinding Sylvia's level as a dancer. She's not really that important to have leveled. So Claude, what the heck are you doing all over there? Actually, no, the fastest way for you to get closer is just to come down here and then have Aranis talk to you there. I don't think anyone else is that important to bring, but I will, for the sake of moving units forward, attempt. I'll attempt to move them forward, and we shall see what happens, if they even get a chance to fight. Probably not. Beltomer Fate. How long until the big switcheroo happens? I forget. Do I have to, like, arrive at the gate or something? Do I have to start fighting? Do I have to kill Reptor? I don't remember how far I have to get to do this. Yeah, so what I can do is Noish can move all the way down here and then enable Aaron to get this talk conversation right here. There you are. Be careful out here. The others are depending on your health and safety now. The children are okay back to least. Sooner we can see them again, the better. Yep, everyone got married and had kids, and now we are marching off to what will surely be a tremendous victory. Nothing bad has ever happened in Belhalla, as the description, I think, says. He's an invisible reinforcement line. You can choose it early with Aaron. Okay. Yeah, because the whole thing is like they make you have to trek through the desert past the meteor mages at first, and then you hit the point where these meteor mages try provoking Reptor. I don't really want to provoke Reptor. You know, no particular reason. Not like he has, 36 skill and 26 speed and 60 damage, magical damage. Something tells me I don't really want to mess with that. I don't really want to touch that, and Sigurd doesn't have a Tearfing to touch that, so I'd rather not if I can avoid it, is my answer to that. And this is why I should have brought, the rest of the units in, but we're too late now. So reinforce, is it like just a vertical line? Like if I cross any of the, like here in the mountains up here, will they activate? Yeah, because I'm unsure of the specifics on that. It's a little bit. Yeah, where's the trigger line? Favorite FE class? That's tough. I've always been a sucker for mercenary. I think over time, while I do appreciate a nice, cavalier, it's less. While I do appreciate a nice cavalier, it's less of a necessity for me, and the more meta they become, the less I not even the less I care for them. I still like a good, cavalier. Mercenary is definitely a class that I just kind of love more than I have a realistic reason to, for lack of better terms, I guess. And honestly, you can't really mess with, just having a solid Pegasus Knight is great. Wyverns, I usually enjoy, but they've definitely become kind of sickening to see so many of. Especially in recent games with reclassing, where it's just like, okay, I'm kind of over the Wyvern. Well, it looks like that was not their trigger line. 8th place of Magic Def, sum of 61. Anyone have that? In a vacuum, yes. After aggroing all of these other units, no. Because, like, yes, in a vacuum, Ironess has 60. In a vacuum, okay, Sigurd has, yep, 70. Wait a second. Lewin has that, and Lewin has Forsetti. Strut your stuff. Shoot your shot. All that noise. I trust Lewin. And I don't actually trust Aranis to keep surviving, so you are going to retreat back. And I'm gonna dance for you. Wait, yeah, no one's in range. Okay. I want to move you in range. Yeah, I had that Claude conversation. Yeah, let's do that next turn. Yeah, in a vacuum, if I was able to just hit Raptor, that'd be one thing. But unfortunately, I can't just hit Raptor. I have to deal with potentially his entire squad. Actually, does... Like, they said, yeah, his whole squad is like, yeah, don't move until, you know, we cross the ridge or whatever. And so I guess... Yeah, Freeze Phase might be standing still. Okay, yeah, so they are not going to aggro to me. Couldn't find the exact zone. Think south by the cliff, right? That's kind of what I think. It sounds about right. Is that I have to, like, cross into the danger zone past the cliffs before the enemy is... Before the enemy feels comfortable enough to attack. And there's a lot of enemies here. I don't really feel comfortable leaving Tail 2 to deal with that right now. So I won't. I think you should be in range of Aaron now. Yes, you are. Brain getting a little tired right now. But I want to finish Chapter 5. I've gotten so close. You shouldn't be here, Sylvia. There's nothing for you to do. Can't stay with me this time. That's why I ask. Please, Sylvia, you don't understand. Claude had a gift of prophecy. He knows this ain't gonna end well. It is more than a feeling. More than a feeling, and I don't know how the rest of that song goes. Please trigger. Nope, they are still attacking me. I would rather they don't keep attacking me, but at least they only have 1% hit on Lewin, so that's nice. Dun, 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 dun. And 15% hit on Sigurd is not better. Not much better, at least. Oh, those are actually important emails for me to review. It is approaching midnight where I'm at, though, so hopefully this final lurch of the chapter goes by quickly. Streaming for about 3 hours, which is longer than I normally do. Okay, so Sigurd is going to charge forward. Lewin is going to do the same. Erin can probably... She can definitely survive 2. That's what I know about her surviving 3, but so that little knot in the cliff is fine. And if I equip a better weapon for her, wind is disadvantaged against fire, so Miracle Sword, she'll be fine. And anyway, that's just in case the AI doesn't trigger its reversal. I think they will at this point in time, but I don't 100% know for sure. Dang it, no. I have to go past the cliffs. That's so stupid. So it's like a square zone. Like I have to march forward and actually get into combat with Reptor's squad to trigger the Velthomer reversal. That is so dumb. Not a fan. Like, at the very least, their meteor attacks are very inaccurate against me. And somehow they missed the 76 on Lex. The time to strike is upon us, with the fire mages of Velthomer on our side, which will crush the rebels in one fell swoop. Yeah, that's what you think. Okay, now that's what triggers it, is that he gets triggered to move, and then after, either next turn or the turn after, the Velthomer mage's turncoat. If I remember right is what happens. Okay. You dodged the 86. Good job, my dear. You did something right. Once again, I'm surprised at me saying good job, my dear. Wasn't sure. Yeah, so interesting thing, the very first time I played through this game, I didn't realize that if you tried to repair without the max amount of gold, you would still get something. So I got Tyrfing, and then it said 50,000 gold required to repair, and I was like, I don't have that gold, so I didn't try to repair it, and so the first time I played through Chapter 5, I went through with a broken sword. Version of Tyrfing. Execute the plan. Concentrate all your fire on Reptor and his army. There will be no survivors under any circumstances. Am I clear? And they're all green now. Happy day. They're green units, which means I shouldn't kill them. Okay, if I miss and die, I can't. Okay, I could if he proc Great Shield, but I shouldn't. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Yeah. So I had a broken version of Tyrfing, but then once you get it in Generation 2, it's automatically restored to full uses. And because you're given it via an event, you get it no matter what. The only thing is if you had any kills on it, like, I think the only thing is that I don't get the opportunity to get kills on it in Gen 1. Not that that really matters, because you're highly unlikely to be able to get you know, a full stack of 50 kills on Tyrfing anyway. But basically, I don't get that chance. Do I just beat up the Fortify Priest? I think I just beat up the Fortify Priest. Yeah, let's do it. Just to make sure he can't do anything funny with healing his army or anything. Oh, the wiki has a map showing the trigger zone, not the junk one on fandom. Oh yeah, no, fandom wiki sucks. WOD usually has good information, but sometimes is spotty. The .org wiki is usually pretty good, but also has its own spottiness issues. And Triangle Attack is, as far as I've seen, great, but exceedingly limited because it's very new and only really covers only has information on a couple games so far. And Saren is, again, is kind of variable on how that works. Of like, sometimes they have great information, sometimes they have pretty spotty coverage. And while ordinarily most of their information is pretty good, every once in a while they kind of don't have what you're looking for on Serenus. Mr. Crit Stars incoming. Bop someone with Aaron over the cliff, then Kanto back. Yeah, probably. And 3-3 on Radiant Dawn, fighting Sleep. Yeah, have fun on that. Radiant Dawn has a couple maps that put you to sleep. Not as bad as the maps that put you to sleep in Fire Emblem 4. I think Chapter 4, because the music also lulls you to sleep. Haha, now the enemy gets to deal with the AI's smart weapon switches. Or they just two-shot the Meteor Mages and it never matters at all. Yeah, that sounds about right. Thanks, Meteor Mages. You did a lot of assistance here. And this is one of the few times the weapon triangle will matter because... yeah. Velthomer actually is disadvantaged against Frege because Frege has lightning. And lightning is 20 hit swing. Okay. Be very aware of Reptor's combat range. That's my number one. Oh, what's your attack? 36 attack! God dang. Okay. We'll just move in with a Brave Lance and cap you out. Or Aaron, I'm gonna need you to explain some things for me. Namely, what the heck was that? I love missing 366% chances in a row. It's my favorite thing. Lewin is 103 avoid. You have 162 hits. So you still have 40% chance to hit Lewin. Okay. Quick fact check. Okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure of that. Because while Lewin can, and indeed probably should, just solo this entire Frege army, because that's what Forseti does. Forseti wrecks Frege. I'm hesitant because of Reptor and the fact that Mjolnir is still freaking powerful. But yeah, like, while I would love to be able to, you know, pick up Hellswath and have Lex try to use it, Lex actually can't use it because he's only minor Holy Blood. And that's one of the things that's like, you know, it does add to his character a bit. Like, hey, you only have minor Holy Blood, so you can't use your family's legendary weapon, and that's probably why you feel like such an outcast. And I think they actually talk about parts of that a little bit. Not as much as they kind of beat you over the head with it in 3 Houses, but it's like, hey, here are some potential plot hooks that for a remake they could build off of. Okay, is Ida going to hit this time? Yes, she didn't miss an Armor Knight. Good job, Velthomer. You are actually helping a little bit. Will you continue to be helpful? Only time will tell. My guess is probably not. Dun 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 dun. Okay, freeze. What's the damage? Oh, you missed. And died. Awesome. I'll take that. Yeah, once... I kind of... Oh, yeah. I forgot, those Meteor Mages have 0 defense, basically. I love that you have a 3% chance to hit me. It means you actually attack me on enemy phase and then die. Thank you. Your sacrifice is greatly appreciated. I was saying something, and then I got distracted by how hungry I am. I was like, I just want to heat up the rest of the leftover shakshuka. Yes, yes. It's like, I do kind of appreciate the relative freedom that comes from just having all of your pairings and whatnot set in stone, so you can just go at it. Just play the map however you darn well want. Oh, that's why they're like so dodgy. That's another thing. Reptor has like a ton of leadership stars. So yeah, he has 4-star authority. He's giving these guys a ton of accuracy. That's why they suddenly all have hit rate on Lewin. Not a fan. Not only hit rate on Lewin, but also avoid. Like, it is very hard for Aaron to hit. Luckily, Ufel doesn't have that problem. Bridget is fine. Okay, because you have, 17 hit from the Thunder Mage that you have effective against. Yeah, this is kind of just brutal. Movement is what, 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, you can't retreat back after. That's unfortunate. I don't want you in enemy phase range of Reptor unless. Okay, Bridget, what's your? Okay, 16 plus 11 plus 16. Okay, you'll be fine. Did Chapter 5 and FE1. North Bridge, Mobius, Detroit, Doga, America, control things to the south. Okay. Am I missing something? Kind of seem like you're just talking to yourself a little bit, but that's cool. Definitely tactics you can do. FE1 is a fun game. It's annoyingly slow and clunky, but it is still a very fun game and has a lot of solid design elements, even if a lot of it has aged relatively unfavorably over, 34 years. Yeah, 34 years. Oh, welcome to Great Shield. Population, you're not doing damage. Oh, well. Knowing it's possible to sort of run a rock to the south. Though against Leadership Stars, not sure how much that'll help. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, Leadership Stars changed the math quite a bit. Luckily, I think... Is it 3 tiles or 5 tiles in FE4? Because... If it was just 3 tiles, like Charm, that's one thing. But for some reason I have a thought that it might be 5 tiles, in which case a lot more of these enemies would be getting... Actually, no, none of those who are attacking Bridget right now would be getting it. And I will have to say, having just such a massive base damage weapon as a holy relic like the U-Fel, so good. So glad that I took the extra time to move you up. And this is why I will always say that FE4 Horse Discourse is a little bit overblown. Because yes, you could just move Sigurd in. And maybe with Tyrfing he's plenty strong enough to do everything you need him to, but... you might not always have that going for you. And so it's helpful to have other units that can contribute. Okay, so Bridget, if I heal her up that slight extra bit, she can help attack Reptor. Lewin does not have Pursuit, he only has Adept and Critical, so if he doesn't proc one of those, he can't kill Reptor. And if Reptor procs Great Shield, Lewin is in a world of hurt for that counterattack. So what I want to do is try and kill this guy. Okay, one sec, let me do some math here. What skills do you have? You have Pursuit, you have 18 speed minus, okay, 12 effective speed. Okay, I have more effective speed, so I will be doubling and you will not. So I can deal with this hero, and I should be able to kill unless I get really unlucky. Yeah, I had to miss 282s to not get that kill. Then you can retreat again. And this is where I do really wish that I would have been more diligent in actually moving Ideen and whatnot down. Because Bridget would have been able to help, but now she can't. Okay, what's the unit math here? Lewin will take 45 and then risk taking 20. He will still risk death. And unfortunately, all these armors are going to move together. Because that's the Armor Knight way. Oh, shoot. I could have... Well, too late now. I could have used a staff to heal up Bridget on this turn, but I didn't think of it, and now I don't have that opportunity anymore because Ironman. Possible south against leadership. Help 3 tiles. It's definitely about your patience. Use a ton of foot in this first playthrough. Super fun getting you going. Yeah, and you're rewarded for your patience. It's not just like, oh, they can do anything that a horse unit can. No, no. I will go to bat. This is a level 27 Madir. Maybe not the best level ups, but probably average. This is level 26 Jamka. Do you notice anything different? Jamka is the much stronger, not just slightly stronger. Jamka is much stronger. Madir just has a horse, that's the only thing else going for him. And so I think the theory of balancing this is solid. I think in practice it falls short a little bit, but in theory it's solid. Okay, so you have the archer stuff. You can move forward and attack me. Of course, I can just move forward and attack you. How would Ira fare against Reptor? Instant death. Oh, Ida? Not well. If I could even get her to attack in the first place. She would deal 21 damage with a meteor, but she decided not to attack. She has 90 hits. Triangle disadvantage, so 70 hits. And then it's 26 speed, so like... Yeah, she has very low hit. It's like... I don't remember if his leadership stars count to himself. If they do... Okay, if a void is calculated correctly, then after weapon triangle disadvantage, she has 38 hit against him with Meteor, and she deals basically no damage with her Miracle Sword. Yeah. And that's also assuming that she even fought him, or I had even a way to influence that. Unfortunately, I can't, and she won't, and I don't. Yeah, Ira's not faring very well. Ira is getting a one-shot by Mjolnir, like everyone else in my army. And Reptor has absolutely no desire to turn around and kill Ida. He only wants to hit me in the face. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's fine. Ooh, that's distinctly less than fine. That's distinctly less than fine. If I could just one-shot you guaranteed. Okay, you know what? I will attack with Lewin. From here, which will block the choke. Wait, his Silver Lance, is that more accurate than his Steel Bow? It is. Actually, it doesn't matter, because Lewin will either kill before he can act, or he won't. But I'll attack from here. I will heal up if he survives. And if Lewin dies... Or not dies, gets hit. Yeah, that's about what I expected. Yeah, that's about what I expected. I don't like it. You don't have a staff. Why the heck don't you have a staff? Why the heck do you not have a staff, Aaron? Okay. Might be in for a change of plans. Is there a way to distract? This is bad. Okay, 17 resistance, you would die. Okay. Is there a way to convince Reptor to attack someone else that matters less? And failing that, is there a way to get 30,000 gold for Claude so we can use a Valkyrie staff again? Oh, there might just be enough. There might just be enough if Sylvia has any gold. Okay, it's fine. There is a plan. When in doubt, the plan does exist. It's not pretty, but there is a plan. I mean, he might also just dodge, right? Lewin might just dodge, right? That's in the realm of possibilities. Oh shoot. Okay. Okay, we're doing great here. We're doing great. No one else can take a hit, so let's just... okay. If Lewin dies, the plan is to get Claude back to a castle, give Claude all of Dew's money, get Claude back to the castle, maybe sell something or try to fight in the arena, and then resurrect Lewin before I finish the map. I mean, well, Holland didn't have enough movement range to move in front of him, but Holland does have... So here's the thing. I don't know for sure if the AI in Fire Emblem 4... I don't know what it's going to do. Because this is a 4-star authority. He still has a random chance to do something stupid. And so, if I think what's going to happen is right, he's going to try to attack Lewin because he has a chance for a kill, and he doesn't have a kill chance on anyone else. Failing that, he might attack Holland or Sigurd because... He might attack Holland because he does flat the most damage to Holland, and Holland can't counter. Even though Holland will not die, he will be left at 1 HP. I'm pretty sure he's attacking Lewin. If he doesn't attack Lewin, he'll most likely attack Holland. But there's a random chance he attacks Sigurd or Bridget because that's just how Fire Emblem 4 AI works. If Lewin dies, I have a plan to get him back. Okay. Valkyrie time might not be the best option, but it is an option. Okay, he's going after Holland. Time to burn, you all burn with me. Look at this. Calculated! Calculated. Only HP that matters is the last one. Okay. Okay, so... how the heck do I do this now? I've survived. Lewin needs healing. And I don't think Lewin can get out of this. Lewin had killed potential if he dodged. Yeah, I'm not 110% convinced on what the AI is going to do in FE4 at any given time, so I'm just like flying by the seat of my pants here. Okay, I can buy everyone another couple steps back. Wait a sec. I can put him to sleep. I can put Reptor to sleep. Thank you, Lewin. Oh, thank you. I can just run past him. Yes, I can. I can do that. That is something I have the power to do. Oh, Lewin, you earned that cap. Sleep broke, I don't care. Wasn't going to be able to bring it with me anyway. I knew there was a reason I kept that last sleep staff. Reptor takes a nap. He doesn't attack back while he's sleeping, right? No, of course not. Why would he? Ira can certainly still miss while he's sleeping, though. You must die. That's an awful lot of sleep talking you're doing there, Reptor. Also, I used regular Thunder instead of Thoron. Whoops, my bad. Insane odds. I know, I did not need to dwell as I did there. You know what? Let's let Lex get the kill. How many times has Lex killed Reptor? Not enough, I'd say. Not enough in the world. Let's give him one more. I love and hate, but I love 100% accuracy. I love 100% accuracy sleep staves when I'm the one using them. Okay, final call for equipment. I don't care. You're probably fine. It looks good to me. You're not inheriting down. Fine. You're not inheriting. None of that's going on except for return and renewals. That's fine. You're not inheriting. No one else is close enough to a castle to matter. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. We're gonna be good. And there we are. This is gonna be Chapter 5 done in... Oh, I have a talk with Ira. Yeah, I'll do that. Why not? Ira's right here. I'm not doing a ranked run or anything. Why are you still here? Didn't I task you with accompanying Shannon over to Zok? I always regret abandoning your army at such a crucial hour. Shannon's grown into a strong young man capable of leading his own life. My work is done. He no longer needs my protection. Once I've seen the war through, I'll return to him and Zok. Better or worse, I'm with you. And... that is a foolish mistake that you are about to regret in about 2 minutes. Yeah, it's great. I know, Veltomer just totally turned on Frege. It's not like, you know, they're going to totally turn on us in the future or anything. All's well that ends well, right? Restore my father's good name to the court, and that'll be the end of it. Also, he's dead. Make your way to the royal city as soon as possible. It's ought to be a fitting conclusion. They deserve some compensation for their help in all this, yes. Of a sort. Yeah, everyone loves the victory theme. The game is about to be over, right? Is there a way to autoplay? No, unfortunately there's not. I hereby sentence you to death for the crime of treason. Far too naive. One has to wonder how much was Arvis actually aware of Deirdre's past? Because if it's one of those things like if he was aware, then this is an exceedingly intentionally cruel move. If he was not aware, this is just classic theatrical irony. And they all turn red. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. Something like that. Many heroes lost their lives on this path. Oh yeah, Alec, he died a long time ago. Interesting. Fine, if it was also my first. Oh, Knight of Chalfie. Arden, Knight of Chalfie. Needlessly cruel regardless. Yeah, that is true. Needlessly cruel regardless when you've already done that. Hoping to be your start of Gen 2. Fair enough. I have no idea when that's going to be because finding open time in my schedule is hard enough, and normally I'm filling that time with recording and editing for my videos. We can remove that. Normally I'm filling that time with like recording and editing for my videos. I just happened to have gotten all of that done yesterday and had a free evening, and so I'm like, okay, well, let's do a stream then. It's been a while. And yeah, I'm excited for Generation 2. Generation 2, I'm trying to remember. It's been so long since I played it. I have no idea how this is gonna go, because I have almost entirely new child units that I'm using. The only ones that are exactly the same as the one I used previously are going to be, well, not even exactly the same as Inheritance. The only pairing that's exactly the same as my last run is Irolex. Just because that's the pairing that just works kind of perfectly for both of them. Now their unfulfilled dreams lie dead with them on the battlefields. Was their sacrifice in vain? What were they fighting for all along? And what of the light? Okay, maybe it's a cop-out, but back to our music discussion from earlier. The Music Box Part 1 medley that they play right there is, no joke, probably one of my favorite pieces of music just to listen to. But it's a bit of a cop-out because... It is a bit of a cop-out because it is just a medley of music. Okay, I am gonna go to bed, though. I'm gonna figure out how to save this and go to bed, and then we're gonna start back up whenever I next stream. If I manage to do more stuff ahead of time, it might be on a future Tuesday night. But we'll see how this goes. We'll see how everything shakes out. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. It has been a blast. You've kept me company really well. You've been here watching the stream, and I really appreciate it. It is so much better to watch a stream even with just a couple people watching and chatting than it is to stream with nobody watching. Because streaming with 0 viewers is just kind of soul-crushing in its own way. And that's what made me stop streaming the entire run so far. Anyway, I hope y'all have a good one. I am gonna go and chill and probably sleep because it's like 1 a.m. almost. But until next time, this is Mithril Zenith signing out.